All right, so welcome back to another video. This is a lunch video. This is actually going to be the first video in the new series where I focus on the 961 instead of the 960 as I had been before. So I can share my screen here. I don't have anything up yet, but let's see here. So, new window for Chrome. There we go. I do have my Google Drive all set up for the version 961. Oops. Okay. So just going by the order of the curriculum is how I have everything set up, and then within that it's all in the order as well. One thing between videos I thought would be interesting to do is to look up the CCIE curriculum and see if there's any overlap, because the CCIE also has a test for service provider just as the JNCIE does, and it of course also has a curriculum just as the JNCIE does. So I found it kind of difficult to actually find that curriculum. I could find a lot of general information, but the specific, what is actually on the test information, I found was kind of difficult to find, especially since it looks like normally it would just be at this link, but there's something broken about this link. But I was able to find it. It was just really difficult for me to find. So unfortunately, I might not be able to look into it in this video at all. This is a lunchtime video, so I don't have quite as much time here. So I think I'm just going to have to, because I can't find it. Oh, unless I can find it right here. No, it looks like I'm not going to be able to find this. So okay, so I'm just going to leave that aside, not look into that anymore. I've come to terms with the decision. I believe it's the right decision to just keep working on JNCIE-SP. Yes, it's something that I plan to do in World A, and with coronavirus is now World B, but I think there's still benefits, and studying the JNCIE or the CCIE, I don't think will be any better. So I was going to just straight up register my test date, but I was told by my coworker that it's not suggested to do that for longer than a month before the exam. So I might need to confirm that, but for now, because time is really ticking on my lunch break, I only got an hour here, I'm going to be continuing on. So one of the things I'm going to be doing differently as well is, instead of preloading with subject matter for me to study, I'm going to be gathering up that subject matter as I study. So, and then this will be nice too, because in my notes I can add my tags. So the tags I've been using, and I've been lazy entering them. And now I can even add more tags. Yeah, I can even add Linux because it's on ESXi Linux, and then I'm using a lot of virtual machines, and then Juniper is on BSD, so it's definitely accurate to say that this channel has topics relating to Linux on it. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for now. So I can have this in all my notes and change them as needed, and then it's going to be easier for me to include that. So, and then the name of this test is going to be JN0. Oops, no, it's not. It's the expert level. So it's going to be, yep, JPR-961. That's the name of the test. So I will be naming my videos similarly. Yep, and then I'll be having the subject matter. So this is going to be device infrastructure. Okay, and then it's going to be system features, Syslog. Okay. Okay, so I'll just be naming all my videos with this format, and then I'll just be numbering each video that I put, and then I'll have more robust tags, better names, and then a description as well, possibly, but any resource I find, I'll just be including in my notes. So I think this is going to be a lot better. So let's start by digging up resource. So Juniper system features, Syslog. Okay. Oh, one thing I wanted to do too, now that I think about it, is instead of just doing a Google search to learn about the subject matter as the first thing I do, I think it's going to be a lot smarter, because I'm not sure if I'm going to have just straight up Google during the exam, but I do know that, of course, I'm going to have CLI access on the device, and that has its own built-in help. So the better I get at using that built-in help, the easier I can find help when I take the exam. So, oops, support assist. Can I get support on having support assist go away somehow? Okay, got it to go away. So here's the help menu. So I've got apropos, reference, syslog, topic. Tip is kind of a nothing one. It's just, yeah, it just shows me a tip for the day. So in configuration mode, the status command displays who is editing the configuration and where in the hierarchy. Oh, okay, I actually didn't know that. That's, you got to be in configuration mode, and then you can do status. Okay, I've seen that message before, but I guess you can see, aha, yep, I'm just in edit mode. If I were to go into edit system login, and then do the status command. Oh, looks like I'm still in, it says that I'm still in edit mode, so I guess I'm not seeing where it would say that. But this is just for myself, so maybe you'd only see that for other users. But anyway, that's kind of a cool one. Something I might want to do is start off the day with a tip, start off every video with a tip, because these tips look like they are pretty useful. So here's the tip of the day: show route summary, pipe save. You don't have to save the output just to a file and then SCP it over somewhere. You can SCP something just by specifying a host and then the file name you want to save it to, all in one command. You don't need to do multiple steps. Okay. Yeah, so these are all pretty solid tips. So yeah, I'll definitely be looking at those. So that's a really good thing about Juniper's. They've got really solid, robust help, aside from just the question mark. But one thing that I like about help apropos is you can put in a regular expression. For the other helps, so help reference, nope, you've got to select from a list. Same thing with help topic. You got to select from a list. And then help syslog. Oops. Yep, same thing. You've got to select from a list. So what's kind of nice about help syslog, and you can see just how big help syslog is. I hit space 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've got 6. So it's 100 pages long, which most other things. So help for help syslog 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's the same thing. Help syslog. So for something else besides help syslog, like for example, help reference. Oops. You know, I've only got 4 pages on that, so 100 pages of question mark output is a lot. But the reason for that is because down here in my syslog messages, whatever I get, so these look like they're kernel messages. This help messages shows me all my messages, so I'm getting things that are not just syslog messages. I'm getting more than that. But aha, here, this looks like a syslog message here. So let's get help on that message. Ah, shoot. Okay, so let's get help on that message. So it's going to be help syslog, and then the name of the syslog message. Oops, and okay, so maybe that's not a syslog message. I'm pretty sure it's just show log messages to find the syslog. So show log messages. See if I can do a pipe match SYS. Okay, so this looks like a syslog message here. Let's see if there's help on this. Perfect. So yep, this is a syslog message. That other one was not. I think if it's a syslog message, it has this, because all syslog messages are numbered or something. So I'm going to try doing this again, but matching on MGD bracket. Oops, but this is our regular expression, so I've got to escape that character. There we go. So now I've got a bunch of syslog messages, and for each one of these messages, so here's a UI commit message. Let's take a look at that. Yep, so for each one of these messages, I'm going to get this help syslog output. So I get the name of the message, which I already know. I don't want to get help on it. But then I get the message, user, performing a load patch. So it kind of makes it more clear which, you know, what it's going to look like anyways. And then nice description, user requested commit of candidate configuration. The indicated user requested the indicated type of commit operation on the candidate configuration and added the indicated comment. The commit operation applies to the local routing engine, and the commit synchronize operation to both routing engines. So already there, really useful stuff, because it points out the fact that, oops, if you use this and you had 2 routing engines, you did not commit it to the backup routing engine, and if it fails over to that, you're going to lose some configuration. So really good help message there. Alerts you to kind of one of the main issues you might have with committing. So this message reports an event, not an error. Another good distinction. Really, really good. And then this you can use to filter out your messages. You don't want to hear about events. You only want to hear about errors. You can filter out the kind of messages you receive by all sorts of things. So this is a notice message. You can say, I only want notice messages. Yeah. So let's look at this child exited one, just because yeah, so I guess long story short, that's what that is. So I think my first plan of action for here, which will be different for other ones, is I will different than what I did to study for the 960. For the 961, I'm going to change up my strategy a bit. And the first thing I'm going to do, instead of a Google search looking for information I can find from Juniper online, I'm going to do a help apropos and just type in the name apropos and type in the name of the actual topic. So I'm just kind of curious how this is pronounced. I'm going to look that up.
Apropos.
Oh, okay. Apropos. There's no S. The S is silent. Help apropos. That's easier for me to say. Okay. So help apropos Syslog. So yep, here I get all sorts of stuff relating to the Syslog. I can do a match pipe, and I can do like a match, but except, and then clear. So if I don't want to see anything about clearing, I can get rid of that. And then I can do pipe except anything that begins with a space. Yep, so now I see only things that don't begin with a space, and then I can narrow it down more, so I don't see any clear commands. I can also do it so I only see show commands. Yep, so now I've got only show commands that are associated with the syslog. So I can do a help topic on this. That's interesting. Okay, well, I guess it's not as easy as I made it out to be. Yeah, once I get these, I guess I'm not sure what I can do beyond that. But you can see I don't have this set up. But anyway, it's just a good clue of some of the things you can do and some of the topics there are. Let's see if there's anything in help topic for syslog. Here we go, system syslog. So that's a good clue. Well, maybe not, because yeah, it's protocol, so it's actually kind of misleading probably. But let's look at the help topic. Yep, so configuring system logging for a single chassis system. Perfect. This is exactly what I need. this is exactly what I get during the test, I think this is a much better strategy. The Junos system logging utility is similar to the Unix Syslog-D utility. This section describes how to configure system logging for a single chassis system that runs the Junos software. System logging configuration for the Junos FIPS software and for Juniper Networks routing platforms in a common criteria environment is the same as for the Junos software. For more information, see the secure configuration guide for common criteria and Junos FIPS. For information about configuring system logging for a routing matrix, see configuring system logging for a routing matrix. Each system log message belongs to a facility which groups together related messages. Each message is also pre-assigned a severity level, which indicates how seriously the triggering event affects routing platform functions. You always specify the facility and severity of the messages to include in the log. For more information, see, and there's just a blank. Yeah, so I guess there's no information available about this anywhere. You direct messages to one or more destinations by including the appropriate statement at the edit system syslog hierarchy level. So let's pull up another one, and as we read this, go through that hierarchy level, take a closer look. Oops, and is there a way I can get it in another instance instead of another tab? Detach. Perfect. There it is. It's by hitting detach. All right, so yeah, let's go into that hierarchy level. Edit system syslog. Do a set question mark. To a named file in the local file system by including the file statement. So here's the file statement. We can log our syslog data to a custom file. Let's do that. Oops. Oh, okay. And then there's more than just that. To the terminal session of one or more specific users or all users when they are logged into the routing platform by including the US statement. US, or is there more than just that? Let's see here. Oh, including the user statement. Okay, so it's kind of cutting it off. See directing messages to a user terminal. Okay, so this user, so yeah, that's actually what I'd rather do. So let's do set user and then root and then any. So any facility message, any level of message, we're going to have show up for this user. So yep, so now you can see we're going to get spammed the heck because we're seeing these extra syslog messages that we would not have seen before. But this is a great first subject because as I work towards more things, I kind of wish I had this going for my BGP videos. And you can see one of my interfaces is set up to have DHCP running on it. So already those messages are really great to have because I because I can see that DHCP is enabled somewhere, and I would like to disable it. Okay, so I can get help on this too, because this is a syslog message, of course. So hopefully that will pop up again to the routing platform console by including the console statement, see directing messages to the console, to a remote machine that is running the syslog DE utility, or to the other routing engine on the routing platform by including the host statement, see directing messages to a remote machine or other routing engine. By default, messages are logged in a standard format, which is based on Unix system log format. For detailed information about message formatting, see the Junos system log messages reference. You can alter the content and format of a log messages in the following ways. In Junos 8.0 and later, you can log messages to a file in structured data format instead of the standard Junos format. Structured data format provides more information without adding significant length and makes it easier for automated applications to extract information from the message. For more information, see logging messages in structured data format. A message's facility and severity level are together referred to as its priority. By default, the standard Junos format for messages does not include priority information. Oh, and it is not included in system log messages. Structured data format includes a priority code by default. To include priority information in standard format message directed to a file or remote destination, include the explicit priority statement. For more information, see including priority information on system log messages. And I'm really curious if there's a way for me to, oh, okay, well, whoops. By default, the standard Junos format for messages specifies the month, date, hour, minute, and second when the message was logged. You can modify the timestamp on standard format system log messages to include the year, the millisecond, or both. Structured data format specifies the year and millisecond by default. For more information, Unix system log format. For detailed information about message formatting, see the Junos system log messages reference. You can alter the content and format of log messages in the following ways. In Junos 8.3 and later, you can log messages to a file in structured data format instead of the standard Junos format. Structured data format provides more information without adding significant length and makes it easier for automated applications to extract information from the message. For more information, see logging messages in structured data format. Okay, well, I am very interested in that. So let's see if I can get structured data format running on here. So configure private, edit system syslog, and then set maybe format Yeah, time format. Well, yeah, I'm not sure if that did anything. Let's see if there's anything available to commit. There is, so let's do that. Oops. Okay, all kinds of syslog messages, commit in progress. There we go. So hopefully those will look a bit different. I can test it by going into configure private. So it looks about the same to me. Yeah, I really don't see a difference. So I don't know if that was necessarily this structured data format, but I do see how you can change the time format. A message's facility and severity level are together referred to as its priority. By default, the standard Junos format for messages does not include priority information. Is not included in system long messages. Structured data format includes a priority code by default. God, how do I enable this? Okay, I gotta see this, because this just sounds wonderful. Okay, so structured data, perfect. Okay, so I gotta go into my file. So we're gonna go here, configure private again. We can roll back that change, show pipe compared. So don't need that anymore. But we are going to need to go back into the hierarchy where that was, edit system syslog. So now we can do a show pipe display set and see what's there already. So yep, we've got the syslog there. Oh, okay. So it only applies to specific files. I guess I'd rather do it that way, because then I can just do like a monitor start on the syslog or something like that. And then of course I can do, yeah, I don't think it makes sense to have it spam the CLI. A better way to do it is to have it write to a file. Oops. Yeah, so right now just it's spamming to the user root, regardless of how that user is logged in, console, FTP. Root will receive all of these syslog messages, and that's, I think, really not ideal. I think the best way to do it is to set up this file. So it's got to get a file name, so let's name it syslog data, and then now is where you can give it structured data. Oh, and we can also do, let's do brief, because we're just going to plug that code into help. So here's all my changes. We no longer get these annoying spams. I mean, we will get them, but they'll be written into this file, so we can do a monitor start on that file and only get them when we want to get them. Okay, so once this commit is complete, it is. Now I'll go back into configure private. Yep, and you can see it's a lot more sane now to work with. But if I want the verboseness, I want to see the syslog data, I can do a monitor start. Oh, somebody's car went off. Hopefully it's not mine. Oh no, it's not mine. There's a guy out there that looks like he might possibly play the guitar, because he's got the same hair as this Slash from Guns N' Roses. He doesn't have the hat on, but that guy could play the guitar really well, I guess I wouldn't be too surprised. All right, so moving on. Oops, and for some reason it's not actually logging to this file. I think I might be missing a command. Yeah, so I guess I don't understand why it's not logging. Okay, so here's that file. Okay, so I guess, yeah, I don't understand why those syslog messages are not being included. I wonder if the severity is a default or something. So messages, okay, I refer to as priority. Yeah, so I already read this part. To include priority information in standard format, messages directed to a file or remote destination include the explicit priority statements. For more information, see including priority information in system log messages. By default, the standard Junos format for messages specifies the month, date, hour, minute, and second when the message was logged. You can modify the timestamp on standard format system log messages to include the year, the millisecond, or both. Structured data format specifies the year and millisecond by default. For more information, configuring system logging for a single chassis system. Yeah, let's look at that because that might be, I think, valuable. Oh, I see. Okay, I understand what's going on. So the reason it's not logging is because, let me go back into the configuration here. So let me do edit file. Perfect. So yeah, I didn't, so I gave it the file, I gave it the structured data, but I did not tell it what to log. So I wanted to log all facilities. Of course, I could narrow that down somehow. I guess I'm not sure how right now, but let's just do any for now. Okay, and then the levels here, it's nice and easy. You can see the levels listed there, but let's do any levels. Okay, so now when I commit this, that since I've already got monitor, yep, so I've got monitor start going on those, so we're gonna see all those. Oops, and it looks like something bad happened. I don't know what happened that is bad, but it looks like I was able to reconnect without much issue. So I wonder if so one thing to know always about logging, stuff like this. So if anyone watching this channel has studied Cisco, we all know if you do a debug all, you can lose connectivity to the device because it will spike its CPU so high, generating nothing but logging messages, it won't even be able to keep your remote session. So I wonder if Juniper has those same kind of problems. I wonder if that's what happened, but I'd be kind of surprised because the control plane is separate from the forwarding plane. It's kind of a whole different ball game when it comes to a lot of that kind of thing. But you know, I could see it being a thing where the control plane is maxed out. Like, just because they're separate doesn't mean that it's impossible to max one of them out. Okay, yeah, it'd be great if I could get rid of these DHCP discover. Let me do a Google search on this because I would like to learn how to disable that. Yeah, let's see what. Oh, but this is for. So it called out the interface, but I don't see what interface that is. So yeah, it says FPC0, but I think that's show chassis FPC. Yeah, 0. So I think it's talking about that is trying to get DHCP. All right, so yeah, I'm not sure how to disable that. Yeah, but you can see how useful this would be if I were troubleshooting something, having these syslog messages and be able to look them up like this. Really useful, and then the fact that they're in a separate file. I can just do a monitor stop and then kind of have my sanity back if I were to be configuring something else. All right, so let's continue to read. By default, the standard Junos format for messages specifies the, yep. You can modify the timestamp, yep. On standard format system log messages to include the year, the millisecond, or both. Structured data format specifies the year and millisecond by default. For more information, see including the year or millisecond and timestamps. So let's go back and look at these because, oh, I see. So yeah, this is, we can see this is a much different format. Let me pull up the Notepad++. and I will take one of these messages from here, and then I think I've still got some of the old ones up here. Well, if not, I can always just enable that to get a new one. So configure private, edit system, syslog, set user root, any. There we go. And now I'll get some syslog messages, perfect. And these are going to be in that different format. So in my Notepad++ that I've got down here on my first screen, I've got both of those formats. So we'll be able to take a look at how they differ. And I'll just roll back this because I don't want that spam. So yes, they are different messages, but you can see there is a big difference in the format. Here you get a ID that is that severity or is the priority. So that's priority is a combination of the, let's see here. So yeah, it's the facility and the severity level. Those are the priority. So when you use structured data format, you get a priority code based on what the facility and severity level are set to individually. Together, you can get a single code that specifies those settings. If you enable structured data format, so we can see that code here. In this case, it is 190. Then we also get the timestamp. It's a little bit, I think, kind of maybe nicer for automation efforts because it's all just given to you in one big thing like this, and you can do a split on the T. If it were Python, I'll pull up a Python and kind of show how it would be easier. So, yep. So here's Python. So I can do time stamp. Yep. So there's the timestamp. So I can say that the date equals timestamp dot split on that capital T, and then I want the first index. Yep, and you can see how easy that is. I can also do the time. Yep, so you can see just how easy it really makes it to have it in this format. If I wanted to, so if the timestamp were in the other format, now it is Python, so of course you can make it work. Of course, there's no doubt about that. But you're even missing information. You don't have the milliseconds. You just have it down to the seconds, the hours, the minutes, and the seconds. And then not only that, if I want to get the date, it looks like I don't even have the day. I just have the, or I don't even have the year. I just have the month and the day. So yeah, this is really not a timestamp that's going to be ideal. So that structured data mode probably will be on the test even, setting that up, because that's just going to be really important to have enabled in production so you can have syslog messages that are easier to automate and filter. That's a really important thing. Yep, and then it shows you the command. This is the help syslog command. Shows you the process ID of the command. It shows you hopefully who ran the command. That's kind of what is, I think, important in a lot of cases to know. Nope, it doesn't show you that. It just says Junos. Yeah, it doesn't tell you who ran the command, unfortunately. But yeah, so here's the difference between those two messages. Let's keep reading the help. So I think we made it here. So we've only got one. Oh, so we've got three bullet points left. By default, the standard Junos. Oh, I think I read that already. Yep. When directing messages to a remote machine, you can specify the IP address that is reported in messages as their source. Ooh, that sounds nice too. You can also configure features that make it easier to separate messages generated by the Junos software or messages generated on particular routing platforms. For more information, see directing messages to remote machine or other routing engine. The predefined facilities group together related messages, but you can also use regular expressions to specify more exactly which messages from a facility are logged to a file or a user terminal or a remote destination. For more information, see using regular expressions to define the set of log messages. For detailed information about configuring system logging, see the following sections. So yeah, like I'm really happy with what I got here. I do wish I could do like a help reference and then just plug in these things and look at them here, but unfortunately that's just not how it works. So, but that's one thing I'll have to check is if I have the ability to use a Google search engine, because if I can just pop these in like I had been here during the test, that would make everything a lot easier. Yeah, get everything there. I mean, I'm sure there's a way to pull it up, but I'm just not sure how. But all right, so I think that's probably enough to read about for Syslog. So I've only got about 6 minutes before I need to get back to work. So let me see. Okay, so yeah, but I think that's enough. I looked into it. I've got the commit messages. I saw how everything works, so I feel pretty confident. It's just edit system syslog, really nothing that fancy. Structured data is kind of nicer, and then I can do monitor start syslog data. So anything they ask me to do on the test, I really think I can just figure it out using the question mark, help menu, that sort of thing. There's really no way for me to practice for exactly what they're going to ask me, but I don't think it'll cost me too much time to implement whatever I am asked. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Let's like shut down a port or something. Or let's just set up a description. Yep, and we're going to see. So these all have their IDs in front of them. Looks like they're all ID 90. We got an ID 29, ID 30. So yeah, we can filter based on that. And a lot of these kind of messages here that don't seem really relevant. It looks like the 90 messages are the ones that are more relevant, and those have a syslog actually associated with it. So those are more the ones that I would want. Yeah, but unfortunately, with using that special structured data, I don't know what that code maps to. So I can't just filter out for all of them matching that numerical identifier at the beginning of the line. But I'm out of time, so I'm going to have to, let's see here, log off. Yep, but I did make it through everything there. So I think I am going to mark this as done. And then in the next video, I'll be moving on. So this was Syslog. So I'll just put in some of the resources that I used. Yep, and then there's a one. Yeah, I remember there was one that was pretty useful. Yeah, this one here. So there we go, and I've got 1 minute left, so I will mark this as done. All right, so next topic is going to be user accounts. Thanks for watching.